There's a map that came out very shortly after Virunga Savannah of Africa came out. This map was absolutely revolutionary to the game of Call of the Wild. This map was so good that it had people absolutely hooked on the game. We're talking about Parque Fernando, or also known as Argentina. Well, there's a chance that that could be a very, very nice red deer stag. He just called over that ridge. And we haven't seen him yet, but the way that he's calling and acting seems like he's a pretty good one. The only thing is, we can't really see over the top of that ledge. So all we can do is hope that he comes this direction, or potentially we could try and sneak right up on him. Oh my god, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. Oh. I was not expecting him to get this close to us. He's not big, but he's something. We got him. We were getting a call from what I believe was a mountain lion. And then this guy decides to come right in. Trotting right to us. Pretty cool. Yeah, he's not a half bad looking stag. You know, a decent mass. He just doesn't have a whole bunch of points. But 161. Nice lung shot there at 34 yards. I can't believe how close that thing came to us. I wasn't exactly sure if he was going to come in or if we were going to have to sneak up on him or what. So we decided to try and sneak up a little bit closer. And as we were doing that, before we noticed, he was literally right on top of us. All right, now I couldn't have said this better if I tried, but take a look at this. We got eyes on a muley and a red deer stag walking through at the same exact time. The muley's not much special, but that's still a pretty sweet sighting here out on Parque Fernando. And I think we're gonna take down this muley right about there. Should be able to make a nice double lung shot, then potentially even go for a shot on the stag as well. So that should be able to double us up. I thought I got a call from another mule deer nearby, but either way, that was pretty awesome. It's not every day you come over the ridge like that and see two different bucks, or a buck and a bull. Not a buck and a bull, a buck and a stag. Whoa, I knew I heard another one. Oh, that's a good one. I knew there was more here. Of course, we take a shot at the smaller buck and we end up spooking the bigger one while we're at it. But hey, we still doubled up. I don't care what happens. We got to be appreciative for the moment that we had. And that was pretty awesome. All right, I think they ran through... Ooh, these are Axis tracks, actually. So we got our muley down, and our red deer stag is not going to be going far. Our muley is, in fact, piled up right here. And let's take a look at him. Kind of a sweet, interesting looking rack for such a small buck. I mean, it looks like he has incredible genetics. It's just that he's young. He's really young. And I don't know if this is a new rack, but I've never seen this. Imagine this buck in a year, let alone 2 years from now. He's going to be an absolute head mount. All right, let's see if we can't get eyes on that muley. I know it was definitely a good one. We got a perfect setup right here where we can see all the way down this channel to the top of that ridge there, but... Oh, there's a buck right... There's a doe right there. Where's the buck? Okay, so he called 100 yards away from us. Another small buck. That's definitely not the one that we want. That thing is absolutely tiny. 87 to 140 on the estimate. Where is our big buck? But getting back to what I was talking about, the red deer stag and the OG diamond rack was something that it didn't even seem real. It seemed like it came straight out of magazines into a hunting game, and it had people absolutely hooked on trying to find one. I've only ever gotten 2, but eventually it was a pretty cool moment. We got an Axis buck here, so I think we're going to take advantage of this moment and try for a nice shot on him. Though it wasn't close to ideal, somehow we still connected, so I'll take it. But yeah, the moment you would see one of those big rack, diamond rack, red deer stags running off in the distance, you pretty much had a heart attack. Because it was so big that you couldn't even contain yourself half the time. Like that, right there. Oh my God, is that thing huge? That's a dime potential. Dime potential access buck right there. Dime potential access buck. That should have been money. It was a long ways out, but that should have been money. I still see him going down there. How far was that shot? Yes! We got honey pressure. That means he went down. We're still trying to find our red deer stag that we took down, but I definitely want to make sure we mark where that huge axis went down, because that thing was for surely dime potential. It was a 4, but it should have been a 5. It was like that big. All right, so our stag was right here, I take it. Good blood. But I can just remember spending hours and even days trying to get lucky enough to find... There we go! Oh my God. That was a giant. Holy. Now, in case you're wondering where we're hunting right now, we're hunting on the very top of these mountains here, in between whatever this lake is called here. I forget what this is called. The kind of L-shaped lake, and then the main Casita de Sabina. Right here, we're walking right down this road, and we are having some incredible amounts of luck. Unbelievable. But I remember spending so much time searching for a big rack diamond red deer, and I just would never see one. And I'd finally find a big mythical, and you could get pretty excited about those too, because those are honestly massive as well, all in itself. But then you would hear about someone getting the big rack diamond red deer, and you go and look at it, and you just start just absolutely freaking out at the insane amount of size to the rack. Just insane. I do believe I've had one situation on multiplayer where there's a shoulder blade lung shot, but where I actually did see a giant 9 legendary red deer stag, and I started tracking it for a little ways, and then all of a sudden the game crashed. I remember I was sick to my stomach for like a whole entire week, but then eventually it worked out in the end. Oh my God, look what we just found. That's a 9 legendary. All right, so I'm a little curious as to where we hit on this big muley. First off, where the heck did he come from? Because that was definitely not the 3 that we saw. That was an absolute monster of a 4. Max weight muley. He was walking through here. I was leading him a little bit too much, so I thought, but apparently not, because that is one incredible amount of blood there. 2 vital hits. And our buck didn't go hardly anywhere. But then if you look right there, that is our giant axis as well. Yeah, we were leading him because I thought he was going to start walking, and the reality is I think he kind of was, but just a little slower than what I really thought. Either way, that's a giant 269.79. He's going to be a gold, but we did make a left lung shot on the walk at 180. Yeah, that's what I figured. We were definitely a little bit far forward on that. I mean, in real life, you hit that spot there, you're hitting front shoulder, and yeah, he's not going anywhere. But in the game, that was a little iffy. So we put a follow-up into him and connected on the liver. Almost got lung as well, but stomach and liver at 180. That's a 270 scoring muley right there. What an absolute beast of a buck. Holy, I was not expecting to find something like this up here. Not even close. But then we got our huge axis piled up right here, which we may have taken the shot somewhere around here. Pretty good blood. We took a far shot, but we were just holding pretty high to compensate for a little bit of drop. Didn't have a ton of time because I didn't think he was going to stick around, but look at the size of the freaking antlers on this thing. Oh my God, those are giant. It's going to be a 182.21. Oh, not quite big enough for a diamond, but massive, massive access buck. 223 yard shot. I thought he was further than that. I honestly thought he was quite a bit further. Our shot did go high, but it's still connected on long. Wow, look at that thing. I think honestly, if he had both sides the same as his left, he probably would have been a diamond. Oh, right there, right there. This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. You can't make this up. You literally can't make this up. Look right there. Look at that rack. Imagine this times 3. You're talking height, width, points, just everything you could ever want in a red deer stag. And all of a sudden, there he is for the first time ever. That is awesome. Look at the size of that thing. I'm not sure what the heck he's doing drinking way up here. At least, what? 500 yards away from the nearest water source? That is unbelievable. And he's quartered perfectly away. So we're just absolutely gonna smoke that stag. Unbelievable. But now you know kind of what I'm talking about. Because imagine if that thing's had 9 legendary, if he was taller, wider, thicker, and had the same amount of points as that thing. You can imagine just the amount of hype that gets built up in looking for one of those. What are the odds? He was literally just laying right here, bedded on the side of this hill. I can't even believe it. Nowhere even near any water source whatsoever. And he was just bedded there. Well, there we took our shot. Nice lung shot. We watched him run over this ridge. I mean, unless he was trying to go down to this channel here in order to get a drink and he just didn't feel like going any further. I really don't know what the answer to that was. I really don't know. But what I do know is this stag is kind of incredible. And it totally reminds me of what I was talking about. Look at the points on this thing. Look at the mass. Just look at this stag. My God, is that impressive. It's going to be a 191.8. And we made a 150 yard perfect lung shot, quartering away. Absolutely beautiful shot. And this is actually a dark brown as well, which is kind of new to the fur types of these things. Typically you don't see this fur type, and well, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so the only difference between this and the Big Rack OG Diamond Red Deer would be those scored about 250 to 280. This is a 190. So you can imagine about a foot higher on each side. Pretty much the same amount of points. And even more mass than this thing. They really were something to find. Oh, and another thing I forgot about is these guys. The presence of one of them. Especially if you got lucky enough to spot a 5 medium Big Rack OG Diamond Mule Deer. It was quite the sight. So you had not only the Big Rack OG Diamond Red Deer, you also had the Big Rack OG Diamond Mule Deer. They're both just as exciting to see, and they're both just as impressive. I just spotted a whole entire herd of mule deer here that are bedded along the other side, which is actually quite a sight. Typically you don't get lucky enough to see anything decent from here, but it looks like today is not going to be the case. And we have a shot at that one right there, roughly 300 yards away. He's not giant, but he's definitely a respectable buck. And I think we just smoked him. My God, what a shot. I can't even believe that shot was so good. All right, we shouldn't have too much difficulty tracking this thing down because we got some excellent lung blood right here. We watched him run all the way back through, and I think he cut left right about here. There lays our buck. Must have been an epic shot. What a buck! That thing is way more impressive than what I thought. He's a 210.94, so just shy of gold, but still a super sweet buck. Double lunged him at 320 yards. But take a look at this thing. How majestic does that look? Perfectly symmetrical. Huge, huge buck. Just doesn't have a whole ton of points. Nonetheless, still an awesome buck to take down. And we made a perfect shot. Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. What do we got right there? Oh, if it went to stop, we would have hit it right in the back of the neck. But I think we still hit it, and even if we missed it, that might be even better. Nope, definitely did not hit a tree. No organs hit, though. That might not take him down, I guess. I didn't think about that, but it probably will, but it just might take a while, or it might not. I believe it was a gray, so that's kind of why it's not that big a deal that we messed up the shot. But it would have been cool to connect a little better. Nonetheless, he's down right here. And it's a gray. It's not very hard, 37.64. Oh, that's all it was. Too far forward. Almost completely missed him. But these things are pretty exciting too. Once these came into the game, ooh, it changed the whole game for red deer and mule deer. Because half the time you're hunting the mule deer or the red deer. So is he. Holy, there goes another giant muley down there at about 250 yards. We're going to have to try and take him when he crosses that point. It's not going to be easy either way. We got a decent access in the back, but he's going to be cutting across right through. Where did he? Oh, there he is. Oh my God, there he is. Ooh, there's two good ones. That one in the back's almost even bigger. We need a better angle for the shot, though. Can't go taking a straightaway shot like that. What, are we gonna shoot through the brush? Not happening. Oh, we hit him. Far back. All right, there's no way we just found what I think we found. But we just took a shot at a mule deer going across the bottom of this lake here. We hit it kind of far back and didn't connect on it. Whatever. Then I started scanning this next ridge here and way off in the distance. Which now, I don't even know if we can find. I hope it's still spotted. Okay, good. 440 yards away. How is that even possible? Right there. Right there. Right there is one of the biggest mule deer I've seen on this map. He has a minimum estimate of 270. I can't see him, but he's right there. At least we know where he's at now, finally. Oh my God, I see him. I see his rack. No way. I see his rack sticking up right there. Oh, that's the cool rack. That's potentially a 300 plus buck right there. That's what that is. Whew. And it's a long, long ways away. 440 yards away. That's how far this thing is. We could literally run forever and still not even be close to this thing. You know, what's weird about this is I've scanned this area hundreds and hundreds of times, never to see hardly anything out here. And now all of a sudden we spot just one of the biggest mule deer you could ever imagine, bedded at over 400 yards away. I mean, he's bedded so well that it's almost impossible to even see the thing. All right, I thought he was like right more. Oh, right there. Right there. All right, we got him again. And there's his rack. Look at that buck. My God. How the heck did we even see that thing? You could barely see the rack. We're still looking at over 300 yards. Look at, there's his rack right there. Wow. You know what's cool about this? Is that it's so realistic, it's not even funny. The fact that we can spot him from way far away and you could just barely make him out. And I mean barely. A couple of javelina cutting across there. But now that we know right where he is, good luck trying to get him out of there. Good luck. What I think we should do is basically just sneak up to that hill. And once we get to that hill, we'll be within 150 yards. The best part is we have this massive hill there for cover. So we can pretty much just walk straight to it. I got an idea. We're gonna sneak up on him and try and take him down with the bow. This is actually gonna be pretty incredible if we can pull this off. The best part is we got a ton of cover. The part that's not so good is we can't hardly see him. But I guarantee it, he knows exactly where we are. Alright, so ideally what I'd like to do is swing wide left here, go all the way around from the bottom of this ridge and come in from the back side. He's right tucked in that super thick brush. So if we kind of come in at an angle from right here, ooh, it should put us in a pretty epic spot. And there he is, right there, 60 yards away. Oh my God. You can see his rack. Look at that. Yep, he can see us. I knew it. That's all right. We went prone, and he should calm back down. I don't know why, but for some reason I figured we'd just sit there crouched. And that was not a very smart choice. Well, either way, we know exactly where our giant buck is. Oh my God, this is incredible. Look at that rack. We're 60 yards away, and there happens to be a giant boulder that we can crawl up on to get a better view. It doesn't get much better than this, and I'm pretty excited about it. So that means once we get to this giant boulder, we should be less than 40 yards away. And somehow we still have a little bit of cover. I'm not sure how, but somehow we do. Now all we gotta do is get up a little bit higher. Oh my God. Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. Look at this, you guys. Holy, what a buck. Holy, what a buck. He's only 40 yards away from us. Right there. Yep. That's a 300 scoring buck. That right there is a 300 scoring buck. And the fact that we snuck into 40 yards is kind of unbelievable. 44 yards to be exact. He's quartered directly away from us. So I think what I want to do is crouch up and pull back to see what we're dealing with here. Alright, so there he is right there. He's quartered a little bit too much, but if we wait long enough, he should stand up and give us a broadside shot. Alright, we can't quite pull off a shot from here. So what we got to do is slide down. I don't really want to get much closer. And I think we could actually let one fly right down the pipe right there. I think we could. Come on, come on. Step out of that brush. Step out of that brush. I think we got a shot. freaking hard shot. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Oh, that was so cool. He ended up laying down perfectly broadside, slightly quartering away, and we held the 40 right on the heart. It couldn't have turned out much better than that. That's what it's all about right there. Look at this buck. My God, look at the points on that thing. It's going to be a 285.8. And we made a hard shot at 46 yards. Wow. Yep, he was angled just like that. We held it right on the bottom of the heart. Absolutely smoked that buck. Incredible. Look at the mass on that thing. And look at the new fur type as well. I absolutely love this fur. Holy. That's one for the books right there. That is definitely one for the books. And that's also going to be a way to end this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Is there more deer coming? Even if there was, most likely it's not going to be anywhere near as cool as the one that we just got. So it is what it is. What a cool buck. Spot and stalk 400 yards away. And we took him down at 40 yards with the bow.